Clements with NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune over at Dunham High School with the boys golf coach Philip Zimmerman, Coach Z, as I was just told you've been called. So you just told me this is y'all's first state title in golf. You've been there for 12 years. So I guess we'll start with that. Just how is that feeling? You mentioned y'all were runner-up 4 times, I believe what you said.
That's correct. We were state runner-up in 2007, 2008, 2010, again in 2012. I was the coach of all those teams, and this is the first year we actually make it over the top and win the big trophy, and we're very excited about that. And it's kind of there's a God story associated with it. I won't go into it, but I will say that we're a Christian school, and the God was behind this win for us this year.
And you mentioned you've had teams in the past that you thought could be state champion caliber and just didn't come to fruition. When you started this year, did you kind of see the same vision? Did y'all think this could be the year for y'all?
It was, it's interesting, and this is my 12th year to be associated with high school golf.
Right.
And to win the state title, it takes 4 guys to shoot in the 70s. It's every year. I mean, we've been there a lot. We've runner-up a lot,
right.
4 times. You got to have 4 guys to shoot in the 70s. We didn't have that this year. And so our hopes were maybe state runner-up, maybe 3rd place, at least qualify for state. We hadn't qualified for state in 2 years, and so this was our year to get back to the team, back to the state tournament, maybe next year win the title. And so it was very surprising that we won it this year.
Yeah. You mentioned y'all didn't qualify for state 2 years in a row. What do you think was the biggest difference from where the team was 2 years ago, not being able to qualify for state, and now this year go all the way to win state?
Yeah, part of the one of the beauties of golf is that if you have kids who start young, for example, with Calvary Baptist out of Shreveport has won it, I think 5 years in a row, 4 years or 5 years in a row, and they had the first year they won it with 3 8th graders.
Right.
And so several years ago, I went to the middle school. I started grooming students to play golf, and we had 2 of those that matured this year. In fact, we had a 9th grader that participated on the team. He shot a 78 the first day, the first time he shot in the 70s in any kind of a tournament of this nature. And so that really helped us over the top. So it was really a full team effort.
Who were some of the guys? I guess I'll give you a chance to kind of give them a little shout out. Who were some of the guys you thought played well, stood out, whether it's upperclassmen kind of taking that leadership role, or like you said, young guys, freshmen coming in and stepping up?
I'd have to say Miller Maestri was our most valuable player this year. He shot a 80 the first day, very unusual, and he shoots a 71 the second day. Jansen Brown, who was second on our team, he also shot I'm thinking 80 the first day, and then he shot a 78 the second day, and that was with a 2-stroke penalty. He had an extra club in his bag off the first tee, had to declare himself a 2-stroke penalty right off the bat.
Right.
Oh, that was painful. And then we had Frankie Manali, our senior on the team, shot a 75 the first day. He hadn't shot in a tournament. He could shoot the 70s all the time. But in a tournament, never shot in the 70s. He shot a 75 the first day. Our freshman, Chris Haga, had not shot in the 70s at all this year. First time out, shoots a 78 the first day. That's really what got us into the tournament, got us tied for first. We've never been tied for first in my 12 years, and our 4 straight runner-ups, never in first place or tied. So that kind of got the team to the point where they knew that they had a chance.
Right.
And once we had the chance, we took advantage of it on the second day.
What do you think was, that day you said all these guys who haven't shot in the 70s before, and then all of a sudden they're shooting in the 70s. What do you think was the?
Having coached golf for a long time, the really good players, U-High was loaded this year. I mean, unbelievably loaded. Calicut New Iberia, they blew us out at regionals. The teams that had really good players on the first day, and we had some really good players, Jansen and Miller, they didn't do well the first day. And I think it was because the greens were hard, they were attacking the pin, and the ball would hit. They would probably hit right by the flag and normally be able to spin it back, and the ball would roll off the greens.
Right.
Where our lesser players, Frankie and Chris, not that they couldn't shoot that, obviously they did, but they were more conservative. They probably shot for the middle of the green, stayed on the green, made the putt, made a couple of birdies, and there you go. So the teams that had really good players, that were really aggressive the first day, I think that's really was the differential. I was just going to say, I do want to say that U-High's Trey Winstead shot a 70 that first day. That was impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
He was actually our boys golfer of the year also.
Yeah.
So he had an impressive performance. And you mentioned the guys. Yeah, they should have 4 guys who can shoot in the 70s to win state. That's kind of the picture that you want to go. Y'all didn't have that one guy. Y'all didn't have that Trey Winstead who kind of carried the team. You really had to kind of channel the team aspect of everyone. Everyone had to contribute. Everyone had to play well, and it kind of draws in and make an individual sport a team sport. How do you balance it as a coach? And
we try to emphasize that all the time in practice and in play, that golf is, in a lot of people's minds, an individual sport because you are participating as an individual. But when you're participating at the state level, it's a team sport. Mm-hmm. And so I try to tell the students, look, one stroke really matters. If you're out there and you're putting and you're saying, well, my score is bad, I'm not going to do good today, and so I didn't care if I make the putt. If you miss the putt, that's an extra stroke on a team that could really be damaging.
Right.
And so we've tried to emphasize that all year. And that's what happened on that first day. Frankie Manali and Chris Haga came through in the 70s. Jansen and Miller did not play their game at all, but they hit an 80, which was good. So you take those 70s, they were low enough, and they take those two 80s, and they're both in the. You had 4 in the 70s on the first day. And that was beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
And I guess just the last thing I have for you is when you kind of look forward now, y'all have the state title under your belt. How big is that for, trying to build the program you want to build here and kind of continue the success? How big is that going forward now?
It is huge. I can say that, again, having won 4 state runner-ups, we had one player who was actually on all 4 teams, and he never won the state title. Mm-hmm. That we have players on this year's team that will be with us again next year, and so we're hoping to carry that momentum into next year and again qualify for state if God's with us and He allows us to do that, and then possibly go make a run for the next title. But I'll tell you what, the competition was stiff this year. It's going to be stiff again next year, and we're really looking forward to that challenge.
All right, Coach, I appreciate your time. For Coach Z, I'm Mark Clements, NOLA.com, Thomas Picayune.